happens.
And of course, if you're watching Fusion University and you go, man, that Who Are You guy, it looks like he could have been an Apex champion. Well, not wrong. Who Are You, of course, well known for his glory days in Apex, playing now from the United States with Fusion University, and he's definitely been on the upswing this season, to be sure.
They've also got the recent addition of Bernard already. The jump coming on out as Fusion University get on top of Mayhem Academy. Hagapun and Aligned are the first to fall. And just like that, Fusion University forced them back to their spawn.
Hey, Blank, is a team fight about to happen? Oh, wait. So that was pretty quick and easy. Just a much better dive coming out from Fusion University.
I don't know if that was a team fight. It was more of an ambush. Surprise, we're right on top of you. So now Apply is going to swap off to Genji himself. So they're going to go for this full all-out dive for Mayhem Academy. The line has to be careful, though. He's dropped low. It's Alarm who finishes off Shax now. He is one of the deadliest Zenyatas here in Contenders.
Yeah, this is getting worse before it gets better right now from Mayhem Academy, where this is quickly going to be a party at their spawn, where people go, hey, do you want to hang out tonight? And they invite themselves over to your house. That might be where we're going right now with how this has been so far for Fusion.
Now, in the past, we did, complain a little bit about Who Are You's performance, especially on the Tracer, where if he wasn't slow, it wasn't the greatest performance, but we got to see what he could do on land. Now he's taking this 1v1 up against Shax, but Shax is the one who has that orb on him, and so, in that 2v1, Hagapun interrupts and takes him out.
Yeah, from all that's happening, Krems ends up falling to the pit. You're not going to be able to bring that one back up. Alarm saying pretty, just treats Hagapun to a few orbs. Zachary smashes Shax on the other side. And this has been brutal and one-sided so far for Fusion.
And all of that was set up because Who Are You was able to keep Shax in a 1v1 for a good 15 seconds, so long that Hagapun comes on over. Now during the retreat where they're backing away, you saw Beast Halo was able to jump on top of it, and just Zachary, of course, his Widow accuracy is just too much.
Yeah, Zachary has been playing Widow at a super high level this round so far. Fusion stockpiled on ultimates, trying to get Aligned early. Aligned doesn't purple rage yet, and he won't get it at all. He thought he would get it mid-dive. He doesn't. He falls early on. And Fusion making this look easy as Mayhem Academy is getting outplayed in every facet of the game. Now, they do use that dive to support the resurrection. They get their tank back in, and Apply with the blade is actually going to do enough. But Beast Halo's buying time. All the while, Fusion University still controls the point as he picks off another. Beast Halo's pulling him back from the brink, and Mayhem Academy can't even feel good about that fight.
Resworth, now Beast Halo trying his best to get out and makes it over to the mini health, and so he does have a little extra sustainability. Now the rest of Fusion University are here though, as the Primal Rage is used by Align just to try and keep the point alive. As overtime ticks away, it's all Fusion University on the kill feed. Align finally answers on in, but it's not going to be enough as everyone else falls. Fusion University will go ahead and take it 100-0.
Alarm was last stated as saying IDPS, by the way, as he goes that last minute 76 in a 100-0 shellacking there.
And there was nothing that Mayhem Academy can do. Their dives just were not decisive enough. There were times where Apply was able to get into the back and force out something like a Transcendence, but you needed more on top of that. They needed to be able to punish the res. I believe it was Bernard who got caught out on the bridge and fell, but somehow they still allowed Elk to get the resurrection onto him. And then from there, of course, having both tanks alive, you're just able to stall it out, get the rest of Fusion Unit back. They don't even give up a single percentage of the points. And now we're going on to the second point where it's gonna be Night Market. More of the dive possibly coming out from Mayhem Academy, but no, Apply is gonna stick with the Widowmaker.
And still giving a rough road to go here. Zachary was playing quite well on the Widow. Who Are You had a great ambush in the beginning. The DPS of Fusion able to set the stage a round before. This time though, Fusion being a little bit more cautious, not immediate. Oh, well, Zachary found one. Already starts out quickly for Fusion. Zachary on the flip side, laying the damage into the Winston. Now, they lost Who Are You, so both teams are down to Tracer. In fact, Mayhem can tilt this into a 6v5 that favors them, but they have given up positioning.
Yeah, as the point unlocks, it's Fusion University. That's their first. Zachary consistently changing up his angle, now making it difficult to try and peg where he is. Fusion University maintaining control of the point as Zachary does get dove upon, but now they have to be careful.
Elk is down, Apply, gets both supports, and no one's left to heal the wounds of the Fusion. And Zachary, even if he got the pick off there, it's just not going to be enough. Shax's gonna rewind himself out of danger. Actually, just grab a health pack, wasn't gonna rewind. And Mayhem Academy gonna easily bring back forward, and that's what happens when your Widow gets both supports.
Yeah, I was surprised that Aligned actually survived there. I was thinking, you know, Who Are You would be coming back from the respawn. Zachary hits him with a headshot, and then, of course, Who Are You is able to clean that up, but that did not work out, and Apply was just too quick with his own trigger finger. Now Shaxx trying to take the 1v1 up against Who Are You once again. The recall is forced out, but during the meantime, Fusion University is just winning the 5v5 on the outskirts. Great, Shaxx, you won the TVT, but the team fight is lost.
I would love to give a golf clap here to Shaxx, where, I mean, that's not an easy Tracer v Tracer win. The problem is that it didn't really matter. Your team was getting blown up on the other side, which isn't your fault, but it also means that your contributions there fall pretty much uselessly.
Yeah, just completely on deaf ears. But guys, I got Who Are You? How did we lose this fight? Oh, 3 of you guys had died before then? Now, Fusion University, they flip it back, and they're about to take the lead once again. It's 36-35 in favor of them as the Infosight's used from both sides, and that allows Apply just to come on in, get the headshot onto the alarm.
Well, he got one support, can't get the other. For now, get worried about Who Are You and gets them with the aid of Hago. Apply doing quite well right now, has Beast Halo just like, this is the situation, and now probably should have used the Primal Rage, though. That was strange. I mean, it buys a little bit of delay, but I don't think what they got from it was worth the investment, as Mayhem's still able to take the point pretty darn quickly.
Yeah, we have double support ults online for Mayhem Academy too, so you want to be able to extend it out, right? You want to be able to jump in as Beast Halo with the Primal Rage to either force out the Transcendence or the Valkyrie, and now he doesn't even have that as a tool. So Mayhem Academy, they can play this a little bit slower, they can play this a little bit more measured now, but Who Are You is trying to take things into his own hands, and Shaxx on the opposite end.
Beast Halo went too far, he's already down. Now they have to do this without a Winston, unless Elk can get the res. I know it's gonna be a riskier res go for, given that Beast Halo dive pretty deeper in. Elk already down, there will be no res. Mayhem Academy brings it right back. 70%, about one team fight away from sending this to a round 3.
And again, they were able to do that in a very calm manner. Paintbrush only uses that Valkyrie. Of course, the Pulse Bomb is used, but that's barely an ultimate. Shaxx will be able to build that up quickly again. So now we're going to have the Transcendence along with the self-destruct here as Fusion University is going full-out dive.
Yeah, this is old school dive. This is the probably still most used composition in Overwatch history coming out for Fusion University. Who Are You in the Genji, Zachary on the Tracer, and they're going to take this up close and personal. But they have to take the point first, and they do. They catch Hago on the other side. There are no pickoffs from Apply this end early on, and even though he gets one of the Beast Halo, it's far too little to make a difference as this blitz from the Fusion is successful.
Now, you were talking about old school dive, and this is the old school purist dive coming out in its 2-2-2 form, and that means Elk is on the Lucio here. And so without having that Mercy, never mind Apply swapped off into Brigitte, they don't have to worry about that one pick potential, but still, it is going to be Mayhem Academy that just wants to walk onto the point now.
All Fusion University has to do here is be aware of the Brigitte. Don't go crazy far in. It's up to Mayhem to bring it back the other end, right? So be smart about this. Zachary under pressure, he'll back up the Transcendence, lit for the Pulse Bomb on the other Tracer. Does not quite connect. Both teams investing quite a bit into this here so far. Transcendence used on both sides, but Hago went for a ride. Elk sent him off the other way. The self-destruct making some room. Fusion beaten, but not broken here just yet. Alarm though down. Who Are You? Blade equalizing. He's going on a journey. Doesn't get him. Oh, that could come back to haunt him. Went for the Mercy, ended up falling the gravity, but Fusion still holding on. They have the edge in the fight. Paintbrush is gone, and the barrier seals the deal. The Fusion take map number 1.
That moment, though, my mind is telling me no. My body. He had to go for it. He had to.
I mean, usually it works out for him. That was just on the blooper reel of, I got,
I was like, I was watching thinking he's not gonna, bye. Bye, Who Are You? Just
like,
adios.
this is my highlight reel. I got this.
Here we go, here we go.
Here it is.
But you know, part of it, it wasn't his fault per se. It was the Brigitte that got the armor
the
pack.
healing and the armor,
Right at the right moment, because that slash would have gotten her there. And realistically speaking, the Brigitte heal is a little bit tricky on that in the moment. So just like, he's like, I got,
Yeah.
But, you know, he was at least zoning out the Mercy, too, who could have been very valuable heals for that final team fight because it was going back and forth, and it could have really been anyone's game. I was surprised that this map was that much as close as it was, especially on Garden there. Or Night Market, excuse me.
Right, but we did see a lot of good tank play from Fusion coming out of this, and I feel like that really helped them secure this win.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a surprise for the Fusion where the tank play has been going up readily. I would say that last season, Beast Halo was definitely a weaker point for the team where, frankly, we saw Beast Halo just get picked off a lot early on, and it doesn't happen as frequently anymore. He plays more solid, he gives more opportunity for Who Are You and Zachary to set the stage, and so far, it's been a better look for the Fusion.
And that's the other thing. You want to have a dive buddy, and now that Who Are You is performing at the level that we always expected him to do, the able that they're able to join up and like just gang onto one support in the back line has been super strong between Beast Halo and Who Are You. Their dive is looking really good.
And as for Zachary, is he performing at his normal Zachary standards?
Stuff.
Yeah.
I would say better than normal, where I think there's times where we've seen his Widow and it's good, but it's not crazy dominant in the way that we've seen players like Corey and Buds take over. And he was very good at just suppressing people all throughout this year, where was it at the same level as sort of the more ridiculous Widow pop-offs? No, but it was a closer level than we've seen from him at times, so he continues to climb the ladder.
Right, we can only see Zachary go up from here, is what we're saying. And on the other side of Mayhem Academy, no, they did not take this map, but what were the highlights that we saw from them?
I would say apply, definitely. When he was on the Widowmaker, we saw Night Market. He was the one that opened it up for them, right? He ended up getting 2 picks onto the supports, and then from there, they were able to win out the team fight. And Apply has actually been, I believe, one of the DPS who's slowly making a name for himself, especially in a Contenders region where it is heavily dominated by the DPS play.
Yeah, I mean, Apply looked really good there. I mean, look, what more can you ask for a Widow where, hey, I got both supports. Yeah, you're going to win the team fight barring just incredible team malpractice, but now we look to Kings Row. That'll be the next battleground here, and curious to see what change-ups, if any, we see for the Mayhem.
Do you think that this is a map that Mayhem may be able to take, or if this is just going to be a very Fusion-dominant round?
I mean, right now, you have to give the edge to the Fusion based on what we've seen, but if they can pull out double sniper, make it work. Apply certainly got the better of Fusion at times. We've seen that give early momentum on the point A, which can lead the B and C, so it's possible, just doesn't seem as likely.
I mean, what I'm really looking forward to here is going to be Aligned versus Beast Halo. Now, we know Beast Halo can be very aggressive, especially with the Winston. We'll see how he adjusts that when he goes onto the Reinhardt. I want to see what Aligned does on the Reinhardt, because I know that he himself, like, this is my experience from the ladder. He can be a very aggressive Reinhardt. And I remember looking at some of the scrims from when he was playing with the Berkeley team, his collegiate team, and they were actually running a composition where it was DPS Reinhardt. Just throw everything at him, throw all the heals at him, and let him succeed. So I'm really looking forward to that matchup here on Kings Row.
And we talk about Kings Row a lot. We say the narrow corridors, it's good for Widowmakers, but it's also good for Zaryas. Do you think we'll be seeing any of these teams utilizing a Zarya or mostly a Reinhardt?
Yeah, I mean, it's Kings Row. Probably going to be seeing Ryan Zarya come to play at least from one of the 2 teams, if not more. I mean, it has defined Kings Row even before we saw Ryan Zarya on more maps as we've been seeing in recent times. It was like, yeah, we'll run Ryan Zarya a little bit more often. So, yeah, I would expect it.
All right. Well, we were waiting for a few players, so let's just maybe dive into Kings Row and the ins and outs. I know we talk about the corridors. I know we talk about the fact that it's a good map for Widowmaker, as most maps are these days. But in you guys' expert opinions, what would you love if you could see like the ultimate Overwatch plays? What would you love to see going through each point?
I'm thinking maybe some Ana and Reaper. Take it back
Wait,
old school.
what?
Go to season 3, go back to like the Beyblade, you know, put a Lucio back in there, speed boost him on in. I kind of miss those days at times because, you know, seeing the setup and then just having him come down like look like Phantom of the Opera, just boom, you know, all of a sudden he's there.
I'm loving all of these references that you're throwing out.
I want to break the server rules. We go back to original Kings Row where you could run 6 Hanzos in the beginning. And the way, bring back old scatter arrow. Yeah, because what teams would do is that you would have all 6 Hanzos, release 6 scatter arrows, and then you'd hope and be like, one of them has to get someone,
Yeah,
right?
someone should be dead.
And it worked like maybe 3 times out of countless attempts, but those 3 times were glorious.
Yeah.
I genuinely almost forgot, like way long back in the times long past, that you could play any hero you wanted all at once, and the chaos and mayhem that brought on. Could you imagine?
Oh, I remember the full Korean mech army came out more often than expected, where it's just like, okay, we're about to take final point, watch point Gibraltar. And Korea sent in its entire military force of 18-year-old girls.
Seems like a very solid plan. Or just the really weird plays where it was just a bunch of Soldier 76s. But we're not going to see that, unfortunately. We are seeing some real...
Escape from the retirement home is what we call that one.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe for All-Stars they bring it back, right? Zero hero, let's go.
I would love that. All right, before we head into Kings Row, quick predictions.
Right now, Fusion. Still got to go with Fusion from what we saw. Mayhem's looking better, but I don't think you're going to see Apply be able to pull off what he did as consistently throughout the entirety of Kings Row.
Yeah, I mean, we already got to see Who Are You is definitely on top form. He's taking TVTs up against an enemy Tracer who has the Zenyatta orb on him. He was having no difficulty whatsoever in that regard. And so as we move forward to this, as teams start to really forget about him, right, and not pay as much attention to him, that's when he's going to open up and be the deadliest Tracer in their back line.
Just a few more details about Kings Row. I am just kidding. We are about to start this match. Sorry for all the quick pauses, you guys. You know how it is when you are playing not in person. But here we go, Kings Row.
We got the players into lobby. That's what matters. And, you know, I got to say here, guys, the other teams got into lobby after Volskaya even quicker, and that was a ridiculous onslaught. That was a simple control map. I don't know who had to use the bathroom, but I don't know. Just get them to use it beforehand. Either way, we're back in.
They had a lot of time to think about their compositions during that quick break. It looks like Fusion University, you know, a lot of the teams have been kind of defaulting to this look on a lot more maps recently, where it's the solo support. They go ahead and throw their flex, of course, onto a Roadhog. And Alarm, he's already deadly as a Zenyatta, and now he's got a hook to really convert and confirm his kills.
Yeah, I mean, why play Zenyatta when you can clutch on Elk to keep people healed up? Of course, like any solo support setup, it does make Elk target #1. So if he's able to get picked off, whether it be by Shax or Apply getting to the back line, it would spell the end of the Fusion defense in almost certainty.
And it is going to be mostly Dive coming up from Mayhem Academy, while Shax will be on the Hanzo. We got the other Shimada, Apply, on the Genji here. So Apply, you know, might be looking for some key deflect targets. Who Are You?
Hello.
Is on that Junkrat. Very stationary defense coming up from Fusion University. Someone's on the point. They're going to have to contest soon.
Zachary looking for the pick off on top, and you're right, they have to get someone on the point. They've given up the first tick for free, but that might be better than giving up the full hold early on. But Bernard gonna get demeched early on, one of the casualties here, as Fusion doesn't know how to quite get back into it, but Who Are You? Picks off 2, regulates the corridors, and gives Fusion the ability to get a bit of stability. Now, they let Mercy get to the back and get the resurrection back off, so they're not out of the hot seat here just yet, but respawns are coming back in.
Now they have to hold here on the low ground. Zachary is a little bit split off from his team, so he's not receiving any healing. Speaking of not receiving any healing, it's Who Are You? He gets burned down now by a line, and so the tempo is all in favor of Mayhem Academy. They are jumping on into that corridor, but they have to be careful.
Paintbrush down, Zachary got him, and Alarm regulating the ground right now. Zachary might be out of it, and now Mayhem, they sense the opportunity. Hago says, let's just transcend, finish this out right now. Bernard with the riskiest res, and he's backed out immediately. Not quite as good in the moment, but it's Who Are You? Dances his way back on in, and Fusion is somehow fighting their way back from the brink. Res or no?
And they did that without the Junkrat. Here comes the blade, though, from Apply. Now he's trying to get onto Who Are You, but he's able to dash away. He will take out Elk, though. But still, this is going back and forth between both teams now. Alarm finally does fall there. It's just the Genji along with the Winston trying to contest, but Krems is able to burn down Who Are You, and now they are running out of lifelines. Fusion University will have to give up this point.
Fusion finally going to get thrown off, but they buy 2 minutes, which by any account is an okay defense. They can feel all right about it. They have tools to deal with Mayhem as they go into second. It could be worse.
Fusion University with some of their swap-offs, though. Who Are You going over, of course, to the Genji. Was able to build up 70% towards his blade, but you have to remember that Apply used his blade in that last fight, and now, because of the last tanks who were coming in and straggling, he built up 50%. Zachary, this is what we need for the defense now. He gets the headshot onto Hago, forces out the res, but Apply, they'll take him out, possibly with a reflect.
Zachary out early. Mayhem Academy moving on in. Apply working the Genji. The great effect right now. Shax is back up as Hanzo. As Apply right now, just looking for the last little bit of cleanup. Gonna get the cleanup he's looking for. And Mayhem Academy piercing their way through second. But you look towards the next fight. Who Are You? Gotta be ready to strike back with that blade.
Who are you is gonna have a blade, but Hagopun is very close to that Transcendence. Just a few more orbs, just a little bit more healing. He'll be able to answer and reply, and they can counter with their own blade. And so it's going to be Fusion University who needs to buy time, especially after that res onto Zach.
Yeah, they're out of extra lives here, so this puts the pressure on Who Are You even more so to get a clean engage. Hago, though, down. Zachary returns the favor. Self-destruct out. Who Are You doesn't care. Dives to the back. A Hanzo into sight. Nice deflect. Followed up and taken down. Shax wins the battle, aided by the Transcendence. And that blade wasn't very good for Who Are You at all. Fusion rattled right now. The Academy moving back in for Mayhem. And you see Aligned right now, diving on top of Zachary, not letting him get into his comfort zone. But they haven't been pushing the payload during this. Alarm's gonna come back in, a Transcendence used. Elk can take to the skies, and they're gonna buy enough time, because he looked to Beast Halo, has a Primal Rage ready. They're gonna transcend, they don't care about the Dragon Strike on the way back in. Fusion able to stay alive, and Beast Halo makes room in the back that's necessary.
He will fall for his efforts here. Both Shimada still alive, both DPS still alive, but as I say that, Who Are You finally gets the heads-up kill onto Apply now. And so Fusion University finally will be able to put an end to this push here as Who Are You cleans up one last member, then Hagopun. And now Mayhem Academy are gonna have to try their hand again at this push. They were so close to finishing off, getting the second point here. Now they're gonna make some swap offs. Shax no longer on the Hanzo, will go over to the Brigitte. So they are, of course, worried. Who Are You getting close to another blade?
Fusion starting to get good momentum here on their defense. Mayhem Academy running on empty with one exception, of course, and it's that man right there, Apply. Going to be working his way, you'd think around the outskirts, but for now, going brute force. Why do anything else? The damage boosted blade picks up 2, dives in, not satisfied yet, forces out the Transcendence from Alarm, but the Alarm too late to save comrades there in the moment. A Transcend in from Hago, it's later from Mayhem, it's a better situation. They get the D-Mech, but the self-destruct covers Bernard. He's able to get back in his mech. Fusion is riding out the storm, but the mech is taken down again. But you look at this man Alarm in the back, supporting. He's gonna need to get to pick off here too to bring this back as his team sacrificing themselves on the point, unable to actually stay in it. And Mayhem Academy likely about to get point B.
And for how most of this map has gone so far, Fusion University are still doing a really good job of just slowing this down and burning off the clock of Mayhem Academy. So as we move on to point C, Mayhem are now down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. There was a momentary glimpse of Zachary on the Doomfist, and I really wanted to see it, but this makes a lot more sense, of course, going back to that Widowmaker. Who Are You now on the Hanzo, so the double sniper coming out from Fusion University.
Zachary, Widow v Widow right now. Sees the other Widow because of the Mercy Tether. Has a good idea of where Shax is. Fusion, you take a look. They're going to rally around Beast Halo here. They have Alarm in the back to Transcend. Now, they're just poking their way through. Beast Halo knows he can primal if he gets into trouble and is using this while using his bubble. Gets a line from the other end who, surprisingly, didn't run out. So it's going to lead to a full reset here for Mayhem.
Yeah, speaking of Beast Halo versus Align, the interesting thing is that neither team have tried to run Reinhardt. They're you know, really trying to enable the Genji that have come online. There we go. Beast Halo gets a little bit too aggressive, goes on down. Not really resable, but Hagopun is, and so now it's the man advantage in favor of Mayhem Academy here.
Fusion backing up just a bit, waiting for respawns to come back in. Of course, the key threat is going to be Apply, but Apply doesn't want to put the blade into the Transcend. Self-destruct early, forces out the Transcend. Apply gets to lick his chops right now because Krebs has done his duty. He's given Apply an opportunity. Now, you look to Apply. He's gonna wait for the fight to develop a little bit more. Holding onto the blade, looking for a clump of people, but the disruption is going on. He's just waiting and waiting, but now it's time to strike. The blade gets the Diva, dashes back, nowhere for Elk to go, and patience paying off here for Apply as he creates a path for Mayhem to bring it right into the final end.
And this is going to be so difficult. They've got the infrasight up, and no, they're just going to block the left-hand side as Beast Halo jumps on with his dying breath there, and with the swap off from Elk going over to Lucio, he's able to touch the point, but it's all Mayhem Academy taking out Fusion one by one, and they will be able to finish off this map with time remaining. And Fusion University not able to do much so far on the defense other than delay, but they did do a good job of delaying here. So there's only 30 seconds left on the clock for Mayhem Academy.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a good defense from Fusion where you don't expect full holds on King's Row all that often, or even like holds before last. If they do, usually it's a sign of one team being better than the other, but holding it down to 30 seconds, this is respectable from Fusion.
It was just odd because, you know, they weren't really winning out that many team fights, maybe 2 during the defense for Fusion University, but in the way that they were losing well. That sounds odd, but they were losing in such a manner that they were dragging out this team fight so that Mayhem Academy didn't just push through this entire map with 4 minutes left on the clock. They dwindled them down to 36, and so now at Fusion University, they can completely correct course here and try to get a huge time bank advantage up against Mayhem.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Fusion, you're totally okay with this. They've set much quicker times at King's Row, most of their times through the map. So for Mayhem Academy, your goal here is that you have benchmarks, right? Where you want to delay about maybe 2 minutes on point A. That's about a good middle-of-the-road defense at a minimum. You draw another 2 minutes off the middle part of the map, and then you go for the better-than-expected hold at the end to seal it out. All of which is achievable, but if you have a bad point A, it gets worse and worse to try and make up that time deficit at every extra stage of King's Row.
Speaking of point A, it's Mayhem Academy on the defense. And this is interesting because, of course, they're going to go with the solo support composition themselves with Hagapoon on the Roadhog. But I feel like, you know, the GPS roles might just be swapped a little bit. Apply is on the Brigitte, as Shax is the one on the Widowmaker. Why wouldn't Apply be playing it when he's already, you know, shown that he's warmed up on Li Zhang? I
mean, one of the only reasonings is that Apply is just the best Brigitte on the team. They feel the drop-off by putting Shax on Brigitte would be worse than the other way around. And Bernard immediately getting crunched out of the gate for Fusion. They're like, oh, okay, we're going to go back. We're heading back.
Yeah, I haven't seen that many people assist in a kill in quite some time, especially on the kill feed. He had like 5 little portraits there.
Bernard and friends.
So, here we go, Fusion University. They're gonna go ahead and goats it out. Of course, when in doubt. So now they just muscle their way right onto the point. Beast Halo is there, free to swing now. He gets hooked on in, and now he's too far. He gets punished. Hagapun with a great hook.
Too deep, ends up drowning in the deep end there as Mayhem Academy. They have to give up a third. That is the power of the GOATS comp and sort of drawing people back. However, Mayhem Academy, everyone's good HP. They can start pushing back the other end. You see Fusion having the back pedal because they're down their Reinhardt right now. However, Beast Halos come back in, and we flow back the other way. We go again.
And 2 ticks have been secured now. So when in doubt, goats it out. It's already working out for them. Zachary gets the D-Mech onto Krebs. The hook, but the defense matrix is there by Who Are You?
Beast Halo's about to get the Earth Shadow. He's going to let this hammer fly. There's no reason to hold back. That might be a whole hog, but where's the hammer? Beast Halo holding on to it. Doesn't have an opportunity, but doesn't have to because the cleanup is there. The melee power of the Fusion undeniable. And the GOATS comp claims another victim.
I love how it's kind of like, you know, rock, paper, scissors right now with a lot of these compositions. Ooh, Fusion University getting a little cheeky. Gonna have a quick tea break here. You know, pick up some biscuits as they wait out Mayhem Academy. But Mayhem Academy have made some adjustments. They've gone to Apply over to the Pharah.
Shh, be very, very quiet. We're hunting men from Florida, say the Fusion right now. They're just gonna relax a little bit. We're gonna enjoy a moment of silence as they wait. Meanwhile, Mayhem is just like, who is that person on the payload? Where are they? Now, at this point, you have to realize something is amiss, right? And you're just like, what's going on? Where are they? Surprise! Beast Halo comes on out, lands the Earth Shatter, but a lot of blocked off, so it's not quite what he was looking for. Mayhem Academy, they deal with the ambush, but the payload is pushed up all the while.
Yeah, Lion got a crucial bubble coming out from Shax there on that Zarya, so that works out for them. Here comes the barrage, though, over top. Apply, not able to take anyone quite out yet. There it is, Beast Halo falls, but the Graviton Surge is connected, and Who Are You comes up with 2. Fusion University throwing all their ultimates into this, but they will be able to win this out.
Fusion, it wasn't quite the ambush they were looking for, but it wasn't quite bad either. The fight breaks down in their favor at the very end, courtesy of that Graviton from Zachary. And Fusion now just going to be able to easily roll this in. Mayhem, even if they could get here in time, it probably wouldn't be a very good idea. And Fusion so far is setting a much quicker time so far. 5 minutes left as they go into C.
That is plenty of time to try and complete out this map. We'll see if Mayhem can try and slow it down, though, but it's so difficult right now. Zachary on this Zarya, he does have a personal bubble, so he's not too worried, but he gets blown up. Great boop to keep him alive from that charge.
Yeah, Zachary is about to splatter against the wall. Boom! He got splattered anyways. Apply off the flanking barrage says hello. Mayhem Academy gonna get thrown out of the danger zone there as Apply lays loose an incredible barrage.
And now we have some swap outs coming out from Fusion University. We tried our go at it. You know, we took goats for as long as we can, but we need to make some changes. Who are you? Goes over to Hanzo. Zachary back now onto the Widowmaker. Bernard and Beast Halo to the Diva and the Winston. As Alarm and Elk go back to the standard supports, I guess, in this meta with the with the Zenyatta and the Mercy.
Well, Zachary right now holding in the back, looking for some pickoffs, chunking the Diva off the other end. Doesn't quite get the D-Mech. Still, looking to the middle. Bernard out of the fight rather early, but one good Diva deserves another. Gonna get the D-Mech, which means that they can continue the pressure. You're gonna see Zachary fishing right now, and it's successful. Pulls up Krems, the Dragon gonna make some more space, and Fusion doing all they need to do to get through this next bend.
Now Hakuboon just, for some reason, in the middle on the payload, is able to pick up two. So that's actually pretty crucial as they come back for the retake, do Mayhem Academy. They res Who Are You back into this, but they are not full force right now. Mayhem Academy can come for the contest with a 4-member, 5-man retake.
Yeah, I mean, they have both support ults up to do it. Fusion is starting to run out of gas here. Elk, Beast Halo, both super low from that, but Apply goes too deep. Doesn't get a kill from that pressure. They all end up getting healed up, and now it's sort of, do you use both support ults while Apply's down? Do you wait for him to come back in? They're gonna wait for him because he almost has a blade. But man, they're gonna open up early with the Valkyrie before Apply is even there. A little bit risky as it goes in. Now it's gonna put on the pressure for Hago to support the Transcend right away. Elk has answered Valkyrie for Valkyrie, but now you gotta look to Apply.
Apply just with that blade. Paintbrush won't be able to follow him because he did use that Valkyrie, but will it matter? Beast Halo takes Paintbrush down, so no, it does not. Apply is going to go for a last-ditch effort with this blade, but the Transcendence is there for Alarm, and he gets shut down.
Transcend ruining his day. The bane of any Genji there, but Mayhem still picks up a few casualties left and right. It stops Fusion from being able to roll this directly into the final area, and Mayhem will get another opportunity, and they have the Primal on deck.
2 minutes and 14 seconds left for Fusion University. Now Zachary does have to be careful. There are threats on all sides. There is someone on his flank right now, and it's Beast Halo on the front line who almost goes down. Hakuboon will take out Who Are You. It's a 1-for-1 exchange between the two.
Meanwhile, Line is still causing all sorts of havoc in the back of Primal Rage. Already sent Alarm into a corner and then some, and Bernard goes, I've had enough. I'm exploring the houses down here. We back to spawn.
It seems like there's a tentativeness about Fusion University this entire third point. They could have had it over there near the end of point C, but it's been slow goings for them, and now they're down to 1 minute and 30 seconds. They've got some great ultimates. They've got the Infrasight up, but take a look. They still have to deal with Apply, who's now gone over to the Tracer, who's almost got another Pulse Bomb.
I mean, the key here is, as they go in, is that Who Are You needs to set the stage. Oh! Well, that's already a good note to begin with. Now, that's going to get res back up, but they have the Dragon Strike. They can throw back in after it. Aligned already down. 3 members of Mayhem out of it, and Mayhem now against the wall.
Yep. Fusion will need to jump onto the point as quickly as possible. Both supports on the right-hand side. Here comes the Dragon Strike. They are zoned to the right. They are funneled on in, but they've got the Transcendence to keep them alive.
Shax is down again. Zachary keeps winning the Widow v Widow. It's such a big advantage. They have to use the res. Self-destruct the other way for Fusion. Bernard picks up another. Both supports Mayhem Academy are down as Zachary continues to feast on Mayhem Tears. 46 seconds remaining as the Fusion have a little bit to go. They punch it in, and we're going to extra rounds.
That is crucial that Mayhem Academy were able to just burn down their clock so much so. The time differential, really only about 8 seconds between the two. Never mind, 7 seconds now. And even though Fusion University were able to make it to third with about 5 minutes left on their clock, Mayhem Academy just slowly burned away at them this entire stretch.
And as we go into extra rounds, it makes the attack on point A even more important, where if you end up losing that first fight, you get an opportunity for maybe a second follow-up fight, but it's never super great. And we see Fusion this time opting for the Orisa packed defense. I wonder if that means we're going to be seeing a Junkrat. Yep, it does. The return of the Who Are You Rat has been thrown back in after receiving harsh chastisement on not shooting sugar-free in a corridor.
I mean, it looks like this is just what Point A has devolved into, right? You go with the solo support, or you can go with the double support, but oftentimes teams now are favoring the extra damage output from the Roadhog, and then of course the offense will just go ahead and goats it out. They're already sitting on it, and why not? That's probably the best composition to go with when you only have a minute left.
There is a dark side here, though, is that if it doesn't work, Horyu's going to have a tire, which is going to ruin your second push. So if they let Horyu get an early pickoff here, if they lose their Moira or something early on, they probably don't get a good second attempt. So it's all or nothing on this first push here for Mayhem Academy.
They make their way through the hotel. Will they go for the long wraparound now? Zachary, thinking something is amiss, is making sure that he's checking his left side angle, and that's because he's keeping an eye out for Shax here.
That's not Surefour. Surefour is on permanent vacation right now, as the Gladiators are no longer in the playoffs. But hey,
This is the Gladiators play, though. This is the exact Gladiators playbook right here.
It is. Well, meanwhile, Fusion fighting this back. Horyu doesn't have to worry about deflecting into his team this time, dealing quite a bit of damage, but not as much as you'd think. 24% here so far, enough to keep him back.
There
but
it is.
Shax gets Zachary. The sneakiness is rewarded. Ends up with 2, and now, with a successful fight likely to be under their belt, Mayhem Academy goes, how far can we push this payload? Because Fusion, they're going to have to back up to point B.
I mean, they're going to be in a great spot. Apply currently at 71% towards his Graviton Surge. Nothing really to shut it down on the next fight now, unless Who Are You can never mind. He swaps off. And so, Goats v Goats. Possibly. Mayhem Academy trying to go for some counter picks as Shax now goes over to the Pharah.
Hey. Goats don't fly. Same Mayhem Academy here, where Fusion, they are just going to try and dive in, and Shax gets immediately crunched. Bernard doesn't care that he's flying. The Graviton comes in, but it's a weakened Graviton. Mayhem doesn't have the follow-through there. The self-destruct is a little late. However, that could have been enough. They have the respawn edge. If Fusion loses 1 or 2 more, where they did just lose 1, they're not going to be able to push us out. The emergency Doomfist comes into the fray.
Coalescence now used. Alarm cleaning up Hagopun. Will take out Krems, and with that, Fusion University catch Mayhem Academy off guard. And what a quick swap off coming out from them to really contest it there. But still, as we move on to Fusion's next attack, it doesn't really, change much for them. They still need to be able to capture point A.
That was just great for the Fusion there, where they got the early pickoffs, but they were bloodied as they went in. And usually that's where the team with the respawn advantage is able to bring it back up, but they double down. They get the last few, courtesy of Bernard and Who Are You, and they're able to hold pretty well. But the problem that they're going to be facing is that, realistically speaking, going to the other side, is that they don't have that many attempts here at this. Mayhem Academy is able to hold them early on while things go from bad to worse, and it doesn't look like Fusion is going to be looking to that Goats comp here just yet, but you never know. Doubt could fill their minds in the last 10 seconds. It's very common.
Zachary currently floating over the May. Don't know if we'll quite see that. This isn't a composition that you run the May with. Definitely not. Right now, Mayhem Academy going with, I guess it's just the standard Kings Road defense, where you have the solo support once again, Hagopun on the Roadhog. So as Who Are You has now swapped off on to the Genji. There we go. It's the Goats comp. Goats comp will come out for Fusion University.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm just like, there's still plenty of time that they can go full Goats, and at this point, they're just like, run at them, see what they can do. Now, Mayhem should be aware that this is going to be a thing. The problem here is that they have to give up so much early on, right? Where they concede 33% for free as they try and push us back the other way. They're going to move in, focusing on Beast Halo's shield. They're giving up 2 ticks for free, but an opening finally comes up. Elk falls. Shax working from the top, but it's not clean. The Goats comp doing a lot to regulate space here. Beast Halo continues to swing the hammer, and Mayhem Academy running out of lives to give here. Respawn's coming in for Fusion, and they're going to go for a ride.
And the wrong people are dying at the end there with Paintbrush gone now. I don't know if anyone can get onto the point, and they need the support to just even try to stay on the point. Beast Halo can just go ahead and play the bouncer here. He's got the Earth Shatter. He's going to charge forward.
Yeah, he's looking for the Shadow to put this away. Meanwhile, Emergency Sombra, take a snooze, says to the Reinhardt, as Fusion takes map number 2, but oof.
It was kind of close there, except for the very end. It wasn't. It was kind of.
It became different.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, of course, if you have Brigittas on both sides, Brigitte is like one of the more vulnerable actual things in the composition. Sure, she's 250 HP, but she needs to be consistently healed by either Zenyatta or a Mercy, or she will fall. Apply dies, Paintbrush has to resin back into this, and during that time, they're missing 2 healing sources from the Mercy and the Brigitte.
I mean, the other problem here, too, is that a GOATS comp is very content with just rushing onto that point, getting 2 ticks for free. Like, literally, they just walk on, and by the time they're able to adjust to that coming in, they're already under pressure to where suddenly they feel compelled to dive in more than they would care to, which leads to people getting picked off. And even if you're trading out, don't forget you're still dealing with the attacker advantage on that point A. So it's like, okay, we're trading out. Our respawns are coming back in. Is this really what you want?
I mean, despite the fact that Mayhem did not take this map, can we talk about Shax's weird climb around, back end, sneaky Widow nonsense? Because that was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this last week during OWL in the postseason matches where the Gladiators actually ran this exact same kind of thing, where they leave, I believe it's the Brigitte who stays in spawn and then swaps over to the Widowmaker and then catches them off guard. They think, oh yeah, we're just making this huge flank play. But you saw that entire time. We saw from the perspective of Zachary, he knew to expect this kind of play.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a surprise, but it's still effective in the end. And look, we've sort of devolved in Overwatch. Before, you used to worry about geometry of Scatter Arrow. Now it's about, can you count to 6? And it's like, there's 5 people over here. Where is number 6? And number 6 was Shax, who came in and ended up getting Zachary in the very end.
Right, but as you saw, like you said, Zachary was kind of looking out because counting is easy to do, hopefully easy to do. That would be important to play these games. But Zachary was performing very well, as always, on the Widow. Are we surprised at this point?
No, I mean, Zachary, again, he's been on the constant improvement end. His Widow has been getting better and better as time has gone on. And it works out well where there's so many threats on this Fusion team where he doesn't have to be the one that's doing all the work. There's always Who Are You that's a threat. Alarm gets more pickoffs of Zen than any other Zen really in Contenders. So overall, Fusion has multiple threats, and Zachary, one of them that continues to add value.
Yeah, what's really surprising right now is that Apply, in the face of all of this adversity, right? In the face of Bernard, Alarm, Who Are You, Zachary, he is still performing at a pretty high level right now. Matching, of course, Who Are You's performance on Genji, matching Zachary's performance on Widowmaker right now. It was really odd for me seeing Mayhem Academy on the defensive, putting him on the Brigitte instead of Shax, and I feel like they could have gotten a lot more out if they had swapped that instead.
All right. Well, we are 2-0 right now with Fusion University taking a little bit of control here, but we will see what happens after a quick break.